Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're the Bourbon Bros.
All right, Zach, we've got a fun one today.
It's going to be fun. This is probably long awaited.
Yeah, for sure. So today we're going to talk about your newbie starter pack. We're going to share with you guys what we think individually are some good bourbons to start your bourbon collection with. You may be new into the bourbon world. The excitement has struck you and you want to start collecting bourbon, drinking bourbon, appreciating bourbon. So we've come up with a curated list, each of us. We put some parameters around it.
Yeah, some parameters. We got 4 categories, right?
4 categories, 4 bottles, but you can only spend $150.
And I feel like you're going to get a 2-for-1 on this.
What do you mean by that?
Brandon has a starter pack and I also have a starter pack.
Oh, two packs, 2 for 1. Yeah, we should charge you double. What we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we kept in mind that we're covering a wide range of needs. We wanted to make sure it was affordable, approachable, and accessible. So really no allocated products. We're going to talk about each category and then we're going to each show which bottle we chose for that category. All right, you want to kick it off?
Actually, before we get started, today our little sipper we're going to have while we do this.
What are we sipping on?
Is going to be some Red Cabin Strength.
It's been too long, Red Cabin.
Yes. This is one of the Wisconsin bourbons that we've had in the past, and we've really enjoyed this one.
I think the very best, right? This is our favorite so far.
This is our top pick out of the Wisconsins that we have, yeah.
Although to be continued, because we've got one that we just brought into the fold pre-game.
Oh, it's pretty good, yes.
Category number 1, experimental.
It's a beginner category. It's a dipping your toe in the water category.
Yeah, it's the jumping off point. It's starting to learn, right? You're opening up the door.
It's your Jim Beam, it's your Jack Daniels, it's those very common bourbons.
It's the first time you're trying bourbon, but you can also use that bourbon for a lot of different things. You can make cocktails out of it. You could pour it on ice. Mm-hmm. You could even take a drop of water and see how the bourbon opens up. Yeah, you're gonna learn what you like, right? It's experimental. The point is, it's guilt-free. It's relatively low cost, low proof. Should we show them?
Let's show them.
All right, you first. What was your experimental pick here?
My experimental pick is the Benchmark 8. What's your experimental pick?
Okay, I chose Deadwood bourbon.
Bourbon.
Interesting that we both chose 80 proof bourbons though.
That is very interesting.
If you're just getting into bourbon, proof can be a little off-putting.
Yeah.
And a little misleading, I think.
Yeah. I think there's some people out there that as soon as they get to a certain point in their journey, proof is something they really are kind of looking for.
Yep.
And a low proof, I really think, is gentle introduction.
Yeah, and I think it's a great way for you to learn how to appreciate bourbon, right? When you can take away or strip away some of the harshness of proof, I think it opens up the flavors that are available to you.
Yeah.
And when you're first starting to learn, you don't want to be distracted by the proof, I think.
Yeah.
If you really want to learn how to look for those flavors, if that's of interest.
I think it's actually kind of a gem when you can find a bourbon that maybe is considered one of those more higher end bourbons, but is still a low proof because it delivers a lot of flavor without having to have that heat.
It doesn't need it. Yeah, it doesn't need the cop out of proof.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree. If you can develop a really robust flavor profile without the proof, I think you're doing things right.
A Benchmark 8, it's nice as a sipper. I think it's a nice sipper, neat.
Yep.
I think it'd be great on ice if you're looking to kind of cool it down a little bit more, but since it is such a low proof, it looks like honey, and it does have a nice honey sweetness to it.
Classic Buffalo Trace sweetness for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Have you ever had Deadwood?
I haven't. Actually, I've never seen that bottle.
So Deadwood to me is the perfect example of a full flavor bourbon without the proof.
Okay.
I think they do a really, really good job of delivering bourbon profile, but it comes in at 80 proof, so you can actually enjoy the flavors you're experiencing.
Nice.
Which is why I picked it. You can use it as a mixture. You can use it on ice. You can pour it neat. You could throw it away and not feel too bad about it. And it's only a $20 bottle.
Yes.
It's a $20 bottle. Yours is a $10 bottle, which is insane. It's great value for sure.
Crazy.
All right, let's move on to the next category.
All right. Okay, we're on to category number 2, which is going to be cut your teeth.
This is one of those categories I feel like people spend a lot of time, maybe the most amount of time early on.
Yeah, I would almost say this is the comfort zone out of the 4 categories. This is sometimes people get stuck in this zone.
So I think cut your teeth, to me, at least it means you you're starting to develop that profile that you like. You're starting to kind of understand, these are the flavors I enjoy, these are the distilleries that produce those flavors.
And I think you probably spend a lot of time on realizing which one you like, and you buy that one over and over and over again. You share that with your friends, you take it to parties, maybe you even sometimes make it into a mixer.
Yeah.
But I think it's
a high-end mixer, I feel like. Right?
Yep.
You're starting to kind of graduate your bourbon a little bit here. This is still affordable bourbon, but this is like, hey, I kind of know what I like a little bit more. What was your cut your teeth bourbon? What do you think you'll... No, for you personally, before we reveal, what was your personal cut your teeth bourbon?
Shoot.
I know what mine was for sure. I think I know what yours is.
I don't know what you would consider this. If you consider it cut your teeth, but I would probably say maybe a Bullet bourbon.
Yeah, Bullet?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have said Four Roses for you. Single barrel?
Four Roses was definitely a sipper. I think Bullet was more of a sipper slash I mixed it once in a while.
Okay. Yeah. Mine was Buffalo Trace. I feel like that was the bourbon that I cut my teeth on. That was the bourbon I spent the most amount of time with. I started to develop my flavor profile with. I kind of learned what I liked in bourbon with Buffalo Trace. Do you want to reveal?
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
I'll introduce mine, and guess what it is? Brandon's Cut Your Teeth. This is your Buffalo Trace. What do you got?
All right, so I went with the Green River here. This is the wheated version, but really anything out of Green River would be appropriate for this one. Why'd you pick Buffalo Trace?
So Buffalo Trace is classic. Everybody that's into bourbon knows Buffalo Trace. They know this bottle. But yeah, this is your classic. It's got that nice sweet mash bill. It's gentle, just like your experimental, but it's a little higher class. It's gonna have a little more depth to it.
Yeah.
It's a little darker in colors usually, and delivers a nice little bourbon sweetness. I would say even like this is like almost like the standard in this category of this is what bourbon should taste like.
100%. This is the benchmark. Yeah, that's kind of ironic.
Yeah.
So I chose Green River, quite frankly, because it's, to me, a lot like Buffalo Trace. Also a 90 proof, it's soft, it's a weeder, very, very approachable, but you get a lot of flavor at a really affordable price. It's about a $30 bottle, and Buffalo Trace is about $25 to $30. I think those are really good choices for the cut your teeth.
Yeah.
You can drink these without getting tired of them, I feel.
Okay.
On to number 3, the graduation category. What does that mean to you, graduation?
Graduation, so you're kind of getting past the basics. You're like, hey, I get what classic bourbon tastes like, but I'm looking for, those single barrels, maybe something that has maybe slightly a little more depth.
Jazz it up a little bit.
Jazz it up. We're looking for character.
You're searching for something. Yeah, character. You're searching for something, right? A little more depth, a little more nuance. To me, graduation means you might be chasing something. Maybe it's proof, maybe it's a specific flavor. I feel like this is when you start to introduce finished bourbon, right? Your double O's, your sherry cask finish. You're looking for something to shake it up a little bit.
And maybe this is the point where you start discovering that a finished bourbon actually exists, because you're like getting that knowledge now. It's not just a Buffalo Trace, or I know a couple of distilleries, but at the same time I think you're also moving up in that proof category.
I feel like as a newbie enthusiast, you kind of know what you like at this point. You can certainly find the big 3, right? You can readily detect oak, vanilla, and caramel.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to look for what are those other flavors that exist within bourbon. And this is where you're starting to graduate your profile, graduate your appreciation, and ultimately graduate the quality of the juice. What did you pick?
So my pick for this graduation category is Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Ooh, hell of a choice. Hell of a choice. So to me, Rare Breed gets you a seat at the big boy table. You're now a grown up if you're sipping on Rare Breed.
Yes, it's definitely graduation. This is a barrel proof, which is going to be a completely different experience from, say, a small batch bourbon.
Great point. Can I show mine?
Show yours, please.
All right. So I went with, now, can't laugh at me, okay? No laughing here.
What is it?
I don't have the full-size bottle. I went with Woodford Reserve Double Oak. This is the .375 version, but doesn't change the quality of the juice here. We're talking graduation, searching out profile, and this is a double oak. And when you're starting to look for what else can bourbon offer, I think double oak is a great place to go. I really believe that this gives you a seat at the big boy table, though. It's the ticket, man. It's the ticket. If you're hitting, it's a great choice.
Yeah, it delivers a lot of sweetness, but it also delivers a lot of heat because of that barrel proof.
And then the Woodford Double Oak, I mean, you're just talking about a really smooth, velvety whiskey with a lot of oaky flavor, right?
Yeah, well, and I'm super into, like, say, the double oak or the ones that have a little more of that smoke flavor to them. I love that characteristic in a bottle. Category number 4. So this is your show and share. This is something that actually Brandon came up with this saying, but it's something that you will look at more than you actually taste.
Yeah, I think this is one of those categories where it's still very accessible, but you might have to shop around for this bottle a little bit. It's a little more rare.
It's a little more rare. It's something that you really kind of cherish, and when you show it to somebody else and they also know bourbon, they're like, where did you get that from?
Yeah, it's like that bottle you're kind of saving up a little bit to share with that person who would appreciate it, but you're really not going to sip on this thing often. This is going to be considered good whiskey by anyone's standards, right? This is good for everybody. This is kind of that entry point to the aficionado category. All right, Zach, enough teasing, man. Show me the bottle. What'd you pick? What did you pick for the show and share bottle?
All right, show and share, shall we? So we have a 10-year Henry McKenna bottle and bond single barrel, okay? So the reason I picked this one, first of all, it's a 10-year aged bourbon, which means it's going to deliver a lot more depth in flavor.
Yep.
It's going to have a lot more character to it. You could have some more char come through. You could have more of that sweetness from aging over 10 years come out of the barrel, which it almost guarantees every time that you have this and share this with somebody that they're going to like it.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those bottles you can have absolute confidence in sharing. You're giving somebody a good pour.
And since it's a bottle and bond, which means it's 100 proof, this is going to be kind of special because it's not going to be a single barrel that just blows you out of the water in heat. And it still has all of that age still on there, so it allows that character to come through without, covering it up with any of that heat.
Let me show you what I picked. Now, this is not a trend here, but we got a bunch of little bottles here. We went with the WB Saffell, and this is relatively new to our collection. We're both still kind of getting familiar with it, but it knocked both of our socks off.
Yeah.
And the reason I picked this, similar to that, you're going to get all the quality of really, really good whiskey, but I kind of picked it because it was a small bottle, right? You're not going to drink a lot of it. It's a show and share bottle, right? It's got a very unique label to it. It's got really, really good juice, and it's only $50. This bottle's only $50. Now, if you extrapolate that,
yeah,
it's kind of expensive whiskey, but for the bottle itself, affordable for something that you're going to save to share with somebody.
Yeah, I really loved tasting the Saffell.
Yeah, I thought it really delivered in a lot of ways, and again, it's one of those bottles that's affordable, and you can have confidence in sharing with somebody like a bourbon bro.
So something similar between these two bottles, which I think we touched on a little bit, is like it fits really well in this share and show category, is that it's a low cost but a very high value bourbon.
I think important to note, these are rare bottles. I mean, they're not highly allocated, but you might not find these in any store you walk into. You might have to do a little shopping to find these.
A lot of times you might find this behind a counter at a store.
And I think there's value in that too, right? You put the extra effort in. You almost feel like, hey, because I know what I went through to get these, I'm even more eager to share that with somebody else. All right, so we put the bottles up behind us here. We're also going to put a list in the description below. I feel pretty proud of what we brought to the table today.
I feel pretty proud. If there's any bourbon enthusiasts out there, tell us which lineup you like better and choose mine, please.
And if there's any newbie bourbon enthusiasts out there, which is ultimately who we're making this list for,
yeah,
let us know how this worked out for you if you choose to go down that route. But for now, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Zach.
We're the Bourbon Bros.
We do it the wrong way every time.
Well, good luck, okay? That might just be our thing. Doing it the wrong way might be our thing, all right? I don't know. We can't figure it out. But you recording?
I am recording.